Hello friends, this is Spa Guy, and I wanted to make you aware I visit Memphis a whole lot. You know, I do Elvis videos, a lot of you know that. And I don't want, if you're, first let me say this, if you're anti-gun, move on. If you put a comment down in the comment section that's negative, I'm going to block you first. I don't want to hear from you. If you're anti-gun, in my opinion, you're anti-American, and I don't even want to have that discussion. If it gets out of hand, I'll simply cut the comments off where you can't say a word. My channel, I can do what I want to. So this is about Airbnb's policy that you are supposed to make the person that you are Airbnb-ing from aware that you have a weapon, and you're supposed to have it locked, which makes you a soft target. Just like schools. Schools are a soft target. That's why they're busting up in there and shooting schools up. I don't hear of them busting up in police stations and shooting them up, or gun shows or shooting them up. Doesn't happen because they know that they're armed. If you stay in an Airbnb, because of this policy, they're going to believe that you may have a gun, but it's locked up. So if they can get to you quickly, they can do whatever they want to. I don't live like that, friends. Memphis is not a safe place. This guy advertised this as a safe place. I'm going to show you right here where he said that. That's laughable at best. I'm not leaving my wife in an Airbnb in any part of Memphis without a gun. I'm just not. Just know, if you see me and I'm not in a government building, I've got a gun. Just know. And if you see a lot of people I know, if you come in my church, there's a whole bunch of us that have weapons. You're not going to come up in there and shooting and acting like a fool. Good guys with guns stop bad guys with guns. That's the bottom line. Here's the email that Holden sent me first before this conversation, and I wrote him back because their methods of communicating I don't understand. One minute you get email you can't respond to, the next minute you get one you can. You get text you can't respond to. I don't know what Airbnb's doing. I thought it was going to be a great experience and a great company. And most of y'all have seen me. You know that I've stayed at some really nice places in Memphis. This is the bottom of the barrel, friends. This guy, Adrian, in my opinion, don't stay at his places. He really tried to, he even tried to make me pay for the refrigerator. And I'm going to show you a video in here. We had been there for maybe 12 or 15 hours at the very most, if even that long, and the refrigerator didn't work, and he tried to make me pay for it. Yeah, you got that right. The guy that I rented the Airbnb from for 5 days tried to make me pay for his refrigerator. So that just tells you what kind of guy he is. He knows that I didn't do anything to it. They just don't keep it clean. If they did, you'll hear about the gun that my wife accidentally left there because they showed up before checkout. We were trying to get everything ready. She was packing up and everything and getting everything ready to go. We have a procedure that we go through where I check everything. And because they showed up on my time to fix the refrigerator to keep the next person from having a problem, it ended up causing us to leave it because I didn't sweep the room like I normally do. So anyway, here's the rest of the story. I'm probably going to do a short version just for the gun part of it, to make people aware that would only watch a short video, and then I'll probably do a real long video where I show you all the different pieces to the puzzle. I don't know what I'll do. So if you're interested, watch. If you're not, don't watch. Watch some of my Elvis stuff. It's a lot more fun. Sorry to bring something so negative, but daggone it. I think people that are soft targets should know that they're soft targets, not let it be some kind of a surprise to them. Anyway, stay tuned.
So here's an example of a map on Airbnb, and I can zoom in, and a lot of these have a picture of the front of the house in the photograph. So you can zoom down to the neighborhood, take a picture of the front of the house, and go find your target. So basically the website shows the bad guy where you're going to be without your gun because of their policy. Most likely you're going to have cameras, laptops, cash, no alarm. I think it's a nice place for a bad guy.
All right, go ahead, Holden.
All righty, thank you so much. I do need to quickly know that we record all of our outbound calls for quality purposes, if that's okay with you.
Yep, I do as well.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, so I thank you for the response to your emails. I did want to reach out and try to connect about this, and make sure that we're, connecting about the resolution of this, as well as answering any questions, make sure that there's not continued frustration, and that we can conclude with at least you having the information that you need, us having the same, and being able to move forward.
Yeah.
So I did want to reach out, and I wanted to connect about some of the other concerns, as you had stated. You had a bad experience, and I'm sorry to hear that. We, always hope for good experiences, and that I can connect about some of those, making sure that we're doing everything we can to help. But at the same time, we also needed to reach out about the report of a weapon that was left at the listing, and just make sure that you're aware of our policies, and make sure that we're doing our due diligence to get it all figured out.
Yeah, and I was not aware of your policy, but your policy doesn't mean crap. In the state of Tennessee, when I rent a place to stay, that is my residence, my legal residence at that moment. And I can take my weapon in that residence. And if y'all are taking the stance that you cannot have a weapon in any Airbnb, then I need to make that publicly known first. And second, how are you going to guarantee my safety in this Airbnb in a town like Memphis if I cannot have my weapon? Because now, if you're restricting me from keeping my weapon and protecting myself, or my wife protecting herself, then you're responsible for if something happens to us.
Well, yeah, and I can speak to that. Number one, our policy is not that you can't have a weapon. We ask first and foremost that users be compliant with local laws, and it sounds like you are fully aware of what those are. Our policy is that it's okay to have those as long as they are disclosed in advance to the host, and that we need to have documentation of them being secured. Our concerns are with unsecured and undisclosed weapons, not that they are there at all. So we just ask that way both hosts and guests, the same as with the host. We ask that if they have weapons in the listing, they disclose that to you, so that way you as a consumer can be educated and make the decision that's best for you, and the host can be educated to say, that way they're aware and not surprised by the fact that there may be weapons in their residence. And we also require that they be secured. So our concern is just, for example, in this case, where after the reservation and after the checkout, a weapon being left in the listing, other guests could have potentially checked in during that period, and potentially other guests with children, and not knowing that there's a gun present, and it potentially not being secured becomes a safety concern.
Well, you're the guy that Adrian wasn't concerned about the gun. He didn't do anything about it for 14 hours. I made him aware of it, and made him aware of it again, and made him aware of it again, and he never responded to me. And that's where this thing got sideways. When he did respond to me, it was not in a nice way. So
and I apologize about that. We will be connecting with the host about our concerns as well, and making sure that they're aware of what our expectations are for hosts and the customer service that they provide.
And that gun.
I can see that there could have been.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You finish.
I was just saying, if there could have been better support, I'm going to make sure that they're aware of that. And what we hope for in these situations is that everybody can feel taken care of. And we don't want it to come across as that we're cracking down on you and not the host. There's definitely some concerns on both sides, and we just wanted to address our concerns with you to say this is our weapons policy, making sure you're aware, answering any questions, and then we'll be connecting with the host to discuss ways that they can improve their process as well.
Yeah, well, I don't ask permission to have a weapon that's legal, so I just won't use your service anymore, and I'm going to make other people aware that that's your policy. But I've already decided not to use your service anymore anyhow, because the whole thing has been a nightmare and a joke at the same time. But see, you got two different issues. You got two different issues here. And brother, I stay in Memphis. I film and make YouTube videos. It's one of my things. And I was there in Memphis filming, and I go to Memphis and stay a lot. Not some, a lot. And my watchers, my subscribers, visit Memphis a lot. And so this was an opportunity for Adrian to seize the chance for a lot of people to stay at his units, but Adrian chose to be a butthead. And you know, the weapon would have never been left if they didn't come in on us 30 minutes prior to checkout to try to fix a refrigerator for the next guest. So, you know, what that tells me is they really didn't care about us as a guest. They were willing to come in on our time, but to try to fix it for the next guest. They didn't fix it while we were there. They didn't solve it, and then acted like we were creating the problem. And I didn't create the problem, and I have video proof of it. And so I thank God that I make videos, because I videoed the refrigerator the very next morning full of this ice that he's claiming. You know, on top of that, then this clown comes up and blames us for the refrigerator being broken. You know, this guy's got a problem. And I'm going to make people aware that this guy's got a problem. So just so you can see, this refrigerator clip was shot 3/18 at 8:30 in the morning. I also shot out front at 8:51 when I was leaving. Then I shot right down the street. There's a business right down the street that I passed by called Toof, T-O-O-F, Business Supply, which is actually the guy that named Grace Toof. Graceland is named after, Graceland Farms. So all these were filmed that morning, which was the very next morning. We arrived on the 7th on a Wednesday. This is Thursday morning, just to prove to you that this happened that morning. So we have this thing set. We actually had it set to 9, but it's not cold. It's not frozen. And you can see a little bit of, it needs to be defrosted. You can see a little bit of that back there, but it's not frozen. My toaster strudel was not good. This, our creamer, is not cold at all. It's not cold in here, in this section, not even a little bit. So my Perriers are not ready.
And see, I knew last night when we got home that the water wasn't cold, but we hadn't had it in long. So that's what I thought was going on.
And why would they turn it down anyway? So friends, it's going to be a golden day. This is going to be my first day in Memphis, March 2018 filming. The first full day. I filmed a little bit yesterday, partial day, because we got here in the afternoon. Got a couple things done yesterday. But I'm going to hit it hard for the next, let's see, today is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and half a day Monday. So I got 4.5 more days of filming, and I'm gonna hit it hard. I'm gonna get a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be in Europe next month and the next month, part of the next month and next month. So I've got to get as much footage as I can to get things in the can, so y'all have things to see while I'm gone. So I'm getting after it. Stay tuned.
Right, and that's fine. And that's what partially what our system allows for, is we do have the review process.
Right, but you removed my review.
We want users to be able to express their, if they're in a reservation where the host is not acting in a certain way, you have every right, and we have our product that allows you to leave a review for future guests to say, this may not be the place for me because this host may not be the best at customer service and taking care of their guests and taking care of their business. And you have the ability to do that. We're also going to be connecting with him to say, hey, it seems like this reservation didn't go as best as it could have. Here's some of our feedback, and here's ways that we can improve. That way they're aware of that, and you do have the ability to provide that information to us and also to other users in the review process.
Well, I did.
The department that I'm in, right, and that's understandable.
No, but you removed my review.
We do have review guidelines, right, and we do have review guidelines that require certain, standards that you can speak to, and certain things that when it is presented, that's not the team that I'm on. They reviewed that and it decided that the reviews violated our guidelines. I can reach out to them to get some further information.
Yeah, they need to talk to me about that, because all that tells me is that your reviews don't mean anything. If you're removing reviews, even bad reviews, then that just tells me that process means nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a process that, we take seriously, and we only remove reviews when they violate our review.
My review did not violate anything. I want to know what in mine violated anything. That's what I want to know. Because, the thing is I'm being treated like a criminal by you and by your company.
like I did something terribly wrong. This was a problem before the gun issue ever came up. And if your guy was doing his job, the gun issue wouldn't have come up. They'd have found it when they cleaned the apartment.
Right.
Clearly, they're not cleaning the apartment.
Right.
So, and that's another
Right.
problem.
And our issue, though, Billy, is, and I can speak to them. I wasn't a part of the review. And that's not the department that I'm in. I can ask them to take another look and hopefully get that information to you. The department that I'm in is here to connect about the gun issue, and our issue is with the fact that the host didn't respond in an appropriate time. Our process is that it's okay for you to have a weapon. It needs to be disclosed in advance of the reservation, not after the fact.
And where is this written at?
Documentation that it is secure. This is in our terms of service in our community.
Yeah, but
standards,
nobody reads that crap. It needs to be prominent. When I'm signing up for this,
okay,
that should be a prominent thing. Nobody's going to read that fine print stuff. Nobody does. That's not a reasonable.
If that is an agreement, that you are agreeing to and signing when you, number one, use our platform and when you book a reservation. If you choose to not read that, that's up to you. But those are the standards that we hold our users to. And if it's not disclosed in advance, we need to reach out to say, in order to continue to use the site, we need you to disclose the existence of a weapon, and we need documentation that is secured.
And what is that? What is documentation is secured? What does that mean?
If you have information on, it has various sorts of safety measures. It has a trigger lock. It's kept in a case. It's not usable like that. That's ridiculous. Okay, those are our policies.
Okay, so all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to establish that Airbnb has an anti-gun platform. That's what I'm trying to establish here.
That is our policy, is that it's okay to have weapons. They just need to be disclosed to a host in advance of a reservation.
And locked up where they can't be used.
There's various measures. I can send you information on that. Those are just two examples, but we do need documentation that they are secured. Also, the fact that the weapon was left in the listing after you checked out, shows that it wasn't secured. It wasn't.
It's no good if it's locked up. I have a gun in my back pocket right now. I never go anywhere without a weapon.
But it is also But it's also left in somebody else's residence.
Yeah, you know why? Because your guy showed up and disturbed our checkout. It would have never happened. It's your fault. You guys ain't got to like it. But that would have never happened. I normally sweep the room. I normally do. I have a system. I stay in Memphis constantly, and I stay in a lot better places than this crap hole. I stay in the Pyramid, $350 a night.
Reaching out to the host. We'll be reaching out to the host to make sure they're aware and finding ways to prove and making sure that isn't a negative experience for guests.
Yeah, well, it was a negative experience for me.
Things that we need to speak to you about. And I apologize for that, and we are glad to help, and I'm going to have that team review and offer some further assistance if that's something that they can do. I can speak to you about what our policies are about weapons and to just make sure that you're aware of those, and if you're able to agree to those, then we can move forward.
No, I'm not agreeing to that.
And you're not willing to agree?
No, absolutely not. I'm not willing to agree.
Then I will have to inform you that we will be limiting your account.
No, don't limit it. Get rid of it, because I will never deal with you again. Okay. And I can guarantee you there's going to be millions of others that won't either, because this needs to be made. Once I make people aware of this, it's going to hurt you, my friend. Okay, you know, all you crazy libs, y'all got to come over to our side. There's a whole lot more of me than there are you. And so you're going to find that out. You're going to learn the hard lesson the way the rest of them have.
I can send you some information, but at this point, it sounds like this call is not being productive.
Yep, I've been treated like I did something wrong. I paid you. You didn't pay me. I rented the room and did all my normal stuff. If that refrigerator had been working, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But the refrigerator didn't work. The place wasn't clean. Your guy sucked. The unit sucked, and now you suck. That's the bottom line.
Okay, and that's fine. We're able to assist with all of those concerns and make sure that you're able to leave with those feeling better and supported about those.
Here it is 8 days
time,
later
we have
after
to
I've
just
checked
say-
out, and I'm still dealing with y'all. I'm still hearing about this thing.
Okay. Well, at your request to cancel your account, I can go ahead and do that. I'll send you an email on our weapons policy so you're able to review the information and make an informed decision based upon our policies and the information that you need. If you choose to share that with others, that's totally up to you.
Oh, I'm going to.
I'll just make sure to send you the information so that way you have the accurate information on what our policies are.
But no, leave the account up. I'm not going to, limit it. Leave it up for a little while because I've got to finish getting all the information off of it for my video.
Okay. Well, at this point, with your statement that you're not able to agree to our community standards and to our terms of service, I am required to delete the account. But I will be sending you some information about our policies via an email, and you should be able to still access most of that information on our website.
Okay, so you're telling me you're going to get rid of the evidence. That's what you're telling me.
No, I'm stating that in order to be a user of Airbnb, you have to agree to our terms of service.
Well, now earlier you told me
do not agree.
You told me, well, nobody's going to agree.
You've informed me that you do not agree to our terms of service, and so I'm going to have to deactivate your account since you are stating that you do not agree to our terms of service to be a user of the Airbnb platform.
Okay. Choose your own poison. Be ready for it, my friend.
I'll be sending...
I can't hardly wait to put this video out.
Okay, I'll be sending you an email. If you have any questions, you can review that, or feel free to respond. It will come directly to the email you have on your account.
And y'all's communication efforts suck, too. This system where you text, and then I can't respond to the text, and then you email, it doesn't show up in the messages on the website. I don't know what in the world y'all are doing, but it's a bizarre group of things. I've dealt with a lot of companies. Usually I rent through hotels.com. Y'all's communication efforts are poor at best. I've never dealt with such a scattered bunch of there's messages here, messages, they don't show up in one place, they do another. I can't hardly keep up with it.
Well, I apologize for that impact, and we always pass that information on, making sure that we're improving, so thanks for that feedback.
Yeah. But gun owners will no longer use your platform, just know that. Once they know that they've got, that this is your policy, you'll have to change your policy or you're going to be hating life.
I'll send that information again. And again, just clearly state our policy is not that you cannot have weapons. It is just that they need to be disclosed and secured for safety purposes.
In the state of Tennessee, they do not have to be. I follow the law. You do not supersede the law.
Those are our policies, and I'll send you the information that you need.
Yeah.
All righty, thank you for your time.
Yep. So friends, just know, if you own a gun, Airbnb is against you. Believe that. Tighten up and don't use them again, ever. You just heard it. I didn't make this up. You just heard the guy from Airbnb. There it is. I'm so aggravated. I checked out 8 days ago, and I'm still dealing with these clowns. Airbnb is a clown liberal platform. You just heard it for yourself. Now you know. So friends, this is a copy of the email that Holden sent me after this conversation. And if you look down at the bottom, you'll notice it says accepted types of secure storage. Lock cases or cabinets and visible locking devices are acceptable storage options. Secured storage must guarantee that only authorized users have access, meaning when somebody's kicked your door down, assaulting your wife, trying to kill you, you've got the key out, hoping that you can get the lock off or get into the box. So basically, Airbnb is making you a soft target, friends. You think that if we can read this website and know this, then the bad guys know too. Airbnb doesn't care about you, friends. That's my opinion. Avoid them. So friends, lastly, I want to show you that he offered, you see what it says, I've located your Smith & Wesson. Since it is illegal to ship a firearm, how would you like to proceed? I said my daughter and son-in-law live there and we'll pick it up where? His answer was shocking to me. He said the weapon has been turned over to the Memphis Police Department 201 Poplar, property and evidence room to retrieve it, and your family should be able to retrieve it later today.
I called them. Takes more than 90 days, friends, to get the weapon back. All kinds of paperwork. And I even have to prove that I purchased it. Well, what if it was a family heirloom that you can't prove that you purchased? And then you'll see right here that he called us baboons. Then you proceed during your stay and after to act like a baboon. I did not act out of the way with this guy at all until after he turned my gun into the police. When he did that, I did call him a butthead. But that's about the extent of it. I'll show you that right here, what I told him. So friends, the bottom line is this. This guy, Adrian, is a butthead. What I called him is absolutely correct. You are a target. You see that picture right there? That is easy to find in Midtown. It tells you basically where it's at. So you're a target if you stay at an Airbnb, in my opinion. And lastly, Airbnb reviews, you can't trust them. They will remove bad reviews. They removed mine. I showed you what I said. It was nothing out of the way other than what actually happened. And they thought it was okay to remove it. Meaning their reviews process doesn't mean anything. So just know that if you choose Airbnb, you're putting your life in your own hands. Tighten up, friends, and don't use them. That's my recommendation.